Every now and then. Welcome to the show. The Derek O'Shea Show. It's Friday and we're feeling pretty good tonight. How you feeling? I'm feeling alright. How you feeling? I'm feeling just fine. How you feeling? How you feeling? Alright. Drinking Zima, feeling good. It's a Friday night. Fridays are for the show. We can't get out, so we glow. I'm sorry. What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing today? Hope you're having a freaking fantastic day. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It's Friday. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling just fine. As I check on the poll, everything is looking just good. Let's go end that poll. Find out, how's everyone doing this Friday? How are we doing this Friday? Freaking Friday. We made it. This is the Frat Walsh Show. Oh, man. Just so thankful it's Friday. So what a beautiful day to be alive. You know what I mean? I got big news coming out of the gate. I got huge news. I found eggs. I got eggs back in my life. Praise God. I have eggs. I can finally be myself again. The world is okay. Eggs are in my life. My baby's in my life. We can all just have a good time. Frat Walsh, is that where you preach family values in between keg stands? Yes, I do. Yes, and I take really extreme takes that make you and tell you you're stupid if you don't agree with me. That's me. Eggs, dude. I'm so excited I got eggs back in my life. It's not even funny. Almost as excited as Miss USA looking. She was having a hard time walking. She's partially disabled due to a planet being on her back. She is heavier than ever, but looking more beautiful than ever. She just started a new workout routine. I just saw that video and I had to freaking share it. It's Friday, people. It's just part of the day. It's part of the day. Let me change it to a live chat. I have it on top chat. I don't like that. What is the Mummers Parade? What's the Mummers Parade? Should I look that up? I feel like I've never heard of that before. How did I miss that? Held New York, Each State, in Florida, in Philadelphia. Oh. I hope I never heard of the Mummers Parade. I love that. Also, huge breaking news. I don't know if you guys have known that this is happening right here, right now. That we are officially going to do some research. CDC is doing some research on what?
And we are just getting word of this now. Regarding the COVID vaccine, the CDC is now saying that there has been enough cases of people who have had the vaccine, received the vaccine, and then suffered a stroke. The agency will now be investigating any potential links between the shots and the strokes in some of those patients. And we are just getting word of this now.
Safe and effective. God. Oh, man. Is this one of those things that those that didn't take it are happy? Is anybody in my chat? Is anybody taking the COOF vaccine? Curious. Can we sue the CDC for medical misinformation? Yeah, yeah. Please sue them, and please take them down. You know, they shouldn't be allowed to say these types of things. Like looking into it, I just like how she reads that with a straight face. You know, because she's probably taking it. I would not get it because of the blood clots. Okay.
So we are just getting word of this now. Regarding the COVID vaccine, the CDC is now saying there has been enough cases of people who have had the vaccine, received the vaccine, and then suffered a stroke. The agency will now be investigating any potential links between the shots and the strokes in some of those patients. And we are just getting word of this now.
Part of me is like, we're going to find out more and more information because people pretend like it wasn't a trial drug when we didn't have very much research done. And either people are going to be happy they did it, or it's going to be terrible. I was lied to in the beginning. Dude, that is unfortunate. I'm assuming dude, due to the Red Bullness. But yeah, that's like the most annoying thing about it. A lot of it is people are waking up to what it's like to be lied to by an authoritative source. That's an unfortunate thing. Stood firm. I had enough. I had to report my vax status to my employer. It was violating experience. I bet that was weird. I mean, I work for myself, so I'm a small business owner, and I thank God that I didn't have to report to anyone. There's been enough anecdotal evidence to do a proper study. Yeah, by now you would think they would have some kind of information out, some kind of stuff, but that's what's been the most annoying part of it. And again, like this should be praised everywhere because it either it creates less conspiracy theorists and creates less people spreading quote unquote misinformation if you just put the information out there. Then we can just have like an honest discussion and saying, oh, actually the data says this, as opposed to being so concerned about censoring everyone. Also in Canada, there are only the only sources we had were government sources. They said if you get it, you can live normally, but that wasn't the case. Dude, I'm so sorry. Is that where you are in Canada? That has to be annoying as crap. I know a bunch of people that work in the medical field that had to fill out a bunch of paperwork saying it was a religious exemption. And despite all that, like people looked at them at work like they were like idiots and insane. And it's the same people though. All my friends that decided not to get it, they eat healthy. They work out all the time. They also saw who was in the hospital, who had it, because they worked closely with those people. So it wasn't like it made sense to them to not get it. They weren't morbidly obese. They weren't in their like 60s and above, you know? Like they didn't have heart conditions. They didn't have like immune disorders or whatever. Red Bull. Oh, I'm sorry, man. My friends dehumanized me over the vax. There's no rug in hell deep enough, dude. Some of my friends made fun of me too and called me crazy and stuff like that, or they just like assumed I took it, which is always like such a weird thing too. Was like having those conversations with friends, and I kept wondering if they were going to ask me because I would answer, but I didn't get asked all the time. And I think they just, because of my career, they just like assume that I took it. People assume based on your job what party you vote for, which is like, it's so stupid, but that's the world we're in today's world, is everyone is such a tribalist. They're like, okay, if you work in education, you're obviously a liberal, am I right? That's not always the case. Many people were interrogated over their religious belief. Well, that's another thing too. You know, it's a shame we had to use religious belief to cover up not to be enforced. That's another thing. And that's why it felt so like disingenuous and weird, because a lot of it, even if it wasn't religious belief, people started to pretend like it was religious belief so they could just decide not to take it. It's just so dumb. Never inject something from a company that got immediate immunity from prosecution. That was, dude, the minute they were allowed to not be sued, I was like, okay, I'm not taking it. That's ridiculous. Why would you do that to yourself? I don't care how good of a drug it is. Unless you're on death's bed, you know, and you're like, if you don't take it, you're immediately going to die. And it's like, well, I might as well take it because why the hell not? Like when that's the case, you know, don't do it. But I don't know. It's just stupid. All right. But make sure you get your The top news sources are of the day. Let Ted Lieu tell you where to get your news sources from, where to get your trustworthy
Best way to oppose fake news is for people to watch outlets like MSNBC, where you report real news all the time. Best way to oppose fake news is for people to watch outlets like MSNBC, where you report real news all the time.
Imagine saying that with your chest. Imagine saying that with your chest, saying MSNBC posts real news. That's when you know you're gone too far, man. That's when you know you're not even savable. I don't know what to tell you. When you're walking around, you're a representative of California, which makes sense. That checks out. And you're going around telling people that MSNBC is a trustworthy news source rather than my news source for all my laughs. Like, I have this video queued up of them freaking out saying, releasing the January 6th footage of more footage is dangerous for the Capitol. I can't wait to get into that with you guys because these people are ridiculous. This was the first time I ever stood for my principles. Hey, Papa, that's awesome. That is so great, man. What a fantastic feeling that is to actually stand up for what you believe in. I mean, not everyone could say that. You know, I had a lot of friends that decided to not stand for their principles, and you see that a lot. It's easier not to stand, you know? It's easier to just fall in line and not seen as different. I mean, there was a part of me that wanted to at some points because I got annoyed and it was just like, you know what, I just don't want to anymore. But I decided, F it. Let's go for it. And I just did it. The best way to avoid fake news is turn off the TV and go for a walk outside. Hey, what are you saying, man? This whole channel is fake news, I swear, dude. Oh, man. All right. Freaking Ted Lieu. He's a peach. All right, let's get into a couple of these clips from today from Jen Psaki. She had a couple of, like, I'm going to turn this bus around clips, which I love to see. Here's her being asked about these questions again.
Has said he hopes to speak about this soon. When can people expect to hear from him?
Don't have, again, that is something that I don't have a magic wand here. I don't know when that's going to happen. What I can say is his team is going to fully cooperate with the Department of Justice. Let's not forget, the president said during the campaign that when it comes to the Department of Justice independence, he respects that. And that is something that he had said was incredibly important to make sure that they had their independence. That's why we say we're going to make sure that they have their independence, and that's why I'm saying that we're going to refer to department.
All right, we got our new narrative passed down. Make sure to use the word independence as much as possible. This is an independent investigation. We're not getting involved. Can I emphasize the word independence one more time? This is an independent verification. This is an independent, everything's independent, and make sure to be as independent can possibly be. Lies. Good Lord, I feel bad for her if she wasn't objectively evil. Yeah, the minute you start to feel bad for her, don't. Just know that she's making more money than you'll ever make, and the minute she stops being a press secretary, she will have a fantastic cush job as a political correspondent for CNN or maybe something fun like Fox News. All right, here's another one from the day before we get into more. We will not be answering any more questions at this time. Exactly. Our independent democracy. Ooh, I like that one. That makes me feel good on the inside.
All works, I would refer to the Department of Treasury.
6 days till the 19th. A few years ago, she did it about 10 days before.
I understand. I would refer to the Department of Treasury.
Nothing to it being announced today amid the situation that the White House is facing.
I would refer to Department of Treasury. And just to be very clear here, Ed, I've been in here almost every day since we got back from Mexico City, standing here taking your questions at length, so that we're not avoiding anything here. And all works, I would refer.
I'm here. Ask me a question. I'm not afraid of your questions, man. God. I love it. All right, one more. All right. Now we got the Department Public Advisory of Public Engagement. Senior Advisor of Public Engagement. Being talked about the economy. Because we're done talking about classified documents, dear God. Don't you love how this administration raises inflation way up, brings it down a little bit, and calling it a W? That's how dumb they think you are. They seriously think you are so stupid that you have no idea when the inflation numbers ease a little bit. You're just like, oh yeah, thanks for the W. Thanks for the easing of inflation. You might as well show up, not show up for the press briefings at this point. We had the same amount of info. Exactly. Just to be clear, our economy is not doing too well. Just to be clear. She's got a point. She's not avoiding anything. She's avoiding everything. There's a difference.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mayor Barnes, for being here. Really appreciate it. When you look at the economy, you saw the unemployment rate come down last month, and yet it went up for Black women, for Latinos. What is your reaction? How focused is this administration on trying to make sure that the recovery is equal, is helping African American women?
Well, equity is at the center of what we do from this administration. And so
Yeah, we can tell. Yeah, you guys are doing such a bang-up job. Maybe make the center of your administration, people that can do their job well. I think things would be better off. Call me crazy.
that's extremely important. It's been said that when America catches a cold, then Black America catches the flu. Well, that's also in relation to the economy. We often know that communities of color and those communities that often face additional challenges.
Then you would think you would care a little bit more about inflation, right? Nah. We want people sucking on the government teat forever. It's awesome. It tastes so fresh.
Have additional challenges with the economy. The great news is that the economy is doing much better under this administration. Also, the president is going to continue.
The economy is doing much better out of this administration. Imagine saying that with your chest. Imagine believing that with your heart, soul, and mind. Imagine thinking the American people are so stupid that they think, hey, this inflation isn't bad. It's being eased. I mean, it wasn't. Wait, what was the inflation under Trump? I forget. Who is she, the relief pitcher? Yes. She's a designated hitter, man.
Continue to lean in to make sure that we have access to resources that are specific to communities of color, that are specific to women, to give us those opportunities to be successful in this economy.
We got to make sure we're bringing up women because, yeah, the inflation rate under Trump was racism. Dude, it was. It seriously was racism. Tell me something different. There's no way. All right. I'm ready because it's Friday and I'm feeling fine. I want to hear, I'm a big fan of Tucker Carlson's open monologue just to see what he has to say. Let's see what he has to say tonight. I'm curious what he has to say.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. It is Friday, so we are thrilled to be able to open the show tonight.
So the federal government is actively preaching segregation and violation of Civil Rights Act. Yes. In the name of equity, Papa, so you can say whatever you want. We will give black people more money in the name of equity? Hey, that's racist. You're racist, man. You are racist.
It was some rare good news. That doesn't happen very often, and when it does, we celebrate. One of the main problems with the U.S. government is that there's no way to know exactly what it's doing because you're not allowed to know. More than 1 billion federal documents, 1 billion, have been declared classified, and that means they're off limits to you and all other ordinary American citizens who don't work for the government. You're not allowed to see them, despite the fact they belong to you. Now, no matter what you may have heard, the point of the system is not to protect the country from foreign adversaries. Under the Biden administration, we don't even bother to do that anymore. No, the point of this system is to take power from the voters and the officials they elect and hand that power to the permanent bureaucracy in Washington. It's infuriating, and over time it is dangerous. But for once, we can report some meaningful pushback against this regime of secrecy and deceit. Kevin McCarthy of California became Speaker of the House last Friday. And in one of his first big policy changes, he is pledging to let Americans see, quote, all that happened at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021.
This is racist. We all need more money. I know. Seriously. I just went to the store. I bought a few eggs. Thank God for the first time in a while. Bought a few other things. It was like almost $100. I'm like, what the frick is going on, dude? I do not make that kind of money where I'm just like, oh yeah, $70. Whatever. I want to read the classified documents. They seem incredibly dull. I know.
And that means finally releasing the roughly 14,000 hours of surveillance footage from that day that as of tonight remain hidden. Watch this.
Yeah, I think the public should see what has happened on day. I've watched what Nancy Pelosi did, where she politicized it, where for the first time in the history as a speaker, not allowing the minority to appoint to a committee, to pick and choose. We watched the politicization of this. I think the American public should actually see all what happened instead of a report that's written for a political basis. And I think the answer. We're looking through that. I want to be very thoughtful about it, but yes, I'm engaged to do that.
Well, yeah. After 2 full years, after a highly publicized and highly politicized congressional committee, after endless grandstanding in the media, after unprecedented political crackdowns, after nearly 1,000 arrests, after all of that, Americans, yes, they do have a right to know what actually happened on January 6th. That's what Kevin McCarthy said. Who could argue otherwise?
MSNBC.
What's the counter argument? Well, there is one, and Democrats have been making it in court, and that's why the footage from that day is still hidden. Here's an actual quote from an actual brief filed in an actual federal court by an actual left-wing U.S. attorney called Channing Phillips. Quote, national security interests could be harmed by the disclosure of the sealed CCTV video.
That is literally the title of this MSNBC video. Why releasing more security footage from 1/6 can be dangerous for the Capitol. What? How is this dangerous? At least forget the number of Americans being held in solitary confinement without trial, exactly. Freaking exactly. Brendan, what's up, man?
Videos from the Capitol. Once the capabilities of the U.S. Capitol interior surveillance camera, including its position and whether it pans, tilts, or zooms, is disclosed to the public via the release of a single video from that camera, the cat is out of the bag. So that's it right there. You can't know.
By Brandon and his criminal enterprise. Exactly. Hey, make sure to smash a like if you're watching. Always forget to say that. Smash a like if you're watching on YouTube. Helps the algorithms out. And if you're watching on Rumble right now, I see a couple people watching. Smash the like as well. Let's get back to the show.
Whether the Capitol's surveillance cameras pan, tilt, or zoom. And if you do know, America is in peril. It's completely absurd. Every human movement in the United States Capitol is recorded by cameras. And you already knew that because the same is true in virtually every public building in the Western Hemisphere. That is not a secret. And
it's a process, my dude.
Of course, it's not the secret the Democrats fear you might learn if you saw the tape. They're probably a lot more concerned about whether you'll discover how many law enforcement agents actively helped January 6 protesters enter the building that day.
Hey, don't say those words.
Some of them definitely did. We know that for a fact because we have the tape. Watch.
Police are squabbling with protesters. Oh, there we go.
Okay, I want to see some of this footage and see this woman debate this idea of releasing some of this footage. Again, it's not, don't just take Tucker's word for it. We need to hear from them.
Yes, since what we have seen, the surveillance footage is quite damning.
That's awesome, Brendan. Take your time, man. One step in front of the other.
Especially for Mr. Hawley. But it underscores that we still do not really know the contours of the deal with the devil that McCarthy made in order to win the speakership. Joining us now, former Democratic Congresswoman Elaine Lurie.
Wait, what was that? That was awesome.
By releasing something that they said never happened is anybody's guess. since what we have seen of the surveillance footage is quite damning, especially for Mr. Hawley. But it underscores that we still do not really know the contours of the deal with the devil that McCarthy made in order to win the speakership. Joining us now.
Yes. Kevin McCarthy becoming Speaker of the House is a deal with the devil. God, these people are so dumb.
Former Democratic Congresswoman Elaine Luria of Virginia. She served on the January 6th Select Committee. Thank you for being with us. This seemed like something that would be good for the
fact that the National Guard assistance requested by Trump fervently denied by Pelosi. That stuff is still so weird to me. I don't get it.
Country, good for people who want to understand January 6th, not good for the part of the caucus that said it was a normal tourist visit. Why do you think Matt Gaetz wants more?
Nobody calls it a normal tourist visit. God, this is why MSNBC is such trash. God, no one says that. It was just a normal tourist visit. God.
Surveillance footage.
Wasn't McCarthy a California Democrat? Aren't we? What's the diff? Who knows? They all play both sides exactly.
Well, Nicole, this is actually quite baffling for a couple of reasons. First of all, more footage of the violence, of the desecration of the Capitol, of attacks on police officers, of the heinous behavior that was going on throughout the day on January 6th. I don't see how Matt Gaetz can think that is beneficial, to try to prove his point or Clyde or something.
Exactly. How dare Matt Gaetz decide that releasing more footage and allowing the public to make their own conclusion is necessary. The public doesn't need to make their own conclusion about January 6th. We made it for them. At the absolute worst, 1/6 was a minor. Is it right? I mean, like, what else do you call? I don't like. I don't know. You can't expect better from MSNBC. I know, that's why we watch it. It's too funny. If you know, you know, Wig.
Some of the folks who said this is just a tourist.
You can't just come on my stream and start demanding things, Brendan.
Clearly it wasn't. The more footage that's available to show that, the harder it is for them to make that claim. It hasn't stopped them nonetheless. And second, they're the same people who've said we hadn't done enough to ensure security within the Capitol. Well, if you release all of the security tapes of the Capitol, showing every evacuation route, every corridor, every bit of information that would lay out a roadmap for someone who wants to come.
Oh, I love it. She's looking down. She's reading from a script about this. It's just, if you don't catch those things, you think these people are just disingenuous. There's a script in front of her and she's reading it. I demand you give those videos a thumbs up. Right?
Try to do something like this again. That is really dangerous for the future security of the Capitol. And, that is the reason that, although a large portion of these have been released in different contexts, having them in their entirety would be very dangerous precedent for the security of the Capitol or any other federal or protected building.
Pelosi filmed her escape route. Yeah, I know. Did her daughter film stuff there? Like, what the? What is this woman? She's babbling about the fact that she thinks like releasing footage of January 6th is going to be some kind of security threat to people at the Capitol. Oh, now people are going to see like exits and entrances and stuff like that. These people think that like this is going to happen every year on the year for the rest of our lives. Pelosi's daughter literally filmed her mother's evacuation, and that was dangerous. You should know better than to say that on my live stream.
He wants to show the altercation with Ashley Babbitt. I mean, she's a martyr on the far right and in Moscow. I mean, what do you think he wants to do?
Don't you like how they immediately dismiss Ashley Babbitt? They're just like, she's a martyr. I mean, and the real murder is all the cops that died at the Capitol. I know none of them technically died there, but we pretend like they all did. Those are the real murders.
Well,
she's not even a real member of Congress anymore. She's a former rep. She's at home with her 50 cats in a fort made up entirely of wine boxes. And Arrowhead.
And one the aspect of that, and I've thought about this a lot, the incredible amount of restraint that was used by those officers throughout the Capitol, whether they be Capitol Police, Metropolitan Police, responding that day and just literally getting brutally attacked themselves.
Yeah, it makes you wonder why they had so much restraint, doesn't it?
Here you have someone attempting to breach a barrier, through a broken window, very close to where leadership of the House.
Also, don't you love that like Biden's documents are all over the news right now, and MSNBC is still talking about January effing 6th. It's ridiculous. Ha. Sorry, I should have. Let me say it. January 6th. A day after Ashley Babbitt died, the news posted a hit piece on her. They justified her murder because she had an... Dude, they act like Ashley Babbitt, like, I don't even want... It's so disingenuous. There's so many lies about what happened that day. And these people are so entrenched in their narrative. They're so entrenched in their ideology. They're so entrenched in like their tribalist tendencies that the idea of you having more information what happened on January 6th is dangerous in their eyes, which is crazy. Like, it's just insane. What planet are these clowns living on? I don't know. They call you the conspiracy theorists, but these people are the true conspiracy theorists. Let's not get it twisted. What happened to the guy that broke into the Pelosi's house and attacked her husband? I don't remember that ever happening.
Members, staff are all evacuating, and the fact that it's a tragic loss of life. And
everyone who pushed this narrative has a nice warm timeshare waiting for them on the lake of fire. You're not just going to hell, but you're going to a timeshare, and you constantly have to hear the pitch of the timeshare over and over and over again. That is literally the depths of hell. That's the lowest depth of hell. It's just hearing the pitch of the timeshare over and over.
Again, I say that, the folks who were summoned by Trump to come and believed in this cause and were misled, it's very unfortunate that someone lost their life under those circumstances, believing lies that they were fed. But I think that it would again prove that in this case, a reasonable use of force was used by law enforcement when a very dangerous situation was ongoing and someone failed to follow their instructions.
Oh, very weird. So that's okay to do in that circumstance, but any other circumstance when that happens, we need to start a riot. Got it.
And so it really...
What happened to the Ghislaine Maxwell on the list? Ghislaine Maxwell is a really good person now. She is leading women's studies classes in prison.
It really doesn't make any sense to me. Other than, again,
it doesn't make sense to me either.
That Matt Gaetz has to wrap McCarthy around his finger and get concessions from him, whatever that is, it seems that he's gone that route, whether they're nonsensical or not.
Oh my God, this woman's the worst. All right, I'm going to keep going to this clip.
And they just breached the Capitol again.
So you saw the barricades come down in front of the Capitol. In some cases, it was not actually the police who took them down. But we still don't know the identity of the people who did. Why don't we? Well, Julie Kelly has just reported on a remarkable moment in the ongoing trial of a man called Richard Barnett. Barnett is the man photographed with his feet famously on Nancy Pelosi's desks on January 6th. Under cross-examination from Barnett's defense lawyer this week, a U.S. Capitol Police commander called Carnecia Mendoza admitted that unidentified but apparently highly trained agent provocateurs were leading the crowd that day. Here's the exchange. The defense attorney asks, quote, "Would it be fair to say that at least some of the leading edges of that crowd, they contained bad people or provocateurs? Is that fair?" Mendoza's response, quote, "It's fair." Mendoza went on to confirm that these provocateurs were, quote, highly trained, violent people who work together and coordinate together. Well, that's a remarkable admission. But who were these people? Under oath, the director of the FBI has refused to deny that these provocateurs were working with federal law enforcement. Indeed, Christopher...
Again, that doesn't negate, people doing what they did there. But the fact... just the fact that we have like law enforcement that like encourage people to commit crimes so that they can catch them is just so psychotic and insane. Like I mean, it was like the Governor Whitner stuff and all that crap. It's just like it leaves me speechless, like thinking about like the fact that we have like that kind of authority in our lives. I watched a live feed the other day. It was just a bunch of people standing around. She looks lonelier than Anna Casper. Peace and love, bros. Hey, yeah, people do need to wake up.
Array of the FBI has refused to confirm or deny that FBI agents dressed as Trump supporters and breached the Capitol. Watch this.
Did you have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters inside the Capitol on January the 6th prior to the doors being opened?
Again, I had to be very careful.
It should be a no. Can you not tell the American people no? We did not have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters positioned inside the Capitol.
Gentleman's time has expired. You should not read anything into my decision not to share information confidentially.
You shouldn't read into it? Okay, then answer the effing question. God, what do you expect is going to happen? God. Yes, the FBI plans built the Gal. Yeah, exactly. We're getting closer to Germany. I hope not, man.
Gentleman's time has expired.
Well, that's just completely outrageous. First, it seems very obvious the FBI did have confidential sources dressed as Trump supporters inside the Capitol. But the fact is, we as Americans have an absolute right to know. How many FBI agents or informants participated in the January 6 riots? Why can't we know? There's no good reason. FBI Director Christopher Wray wants to keep the surveillance footage hidden so we can't know. Again, the real secret here is not whether the cameras in the Capitol pan, tilt, or zoom. It's ridiculous. The real secret is what really happened there. So
Right, and remember, we were watching the MSNBC talking about this, saying it was just dangerous for people to see footage of how the Capitol has exits and entrances. That is their entire argument for us not being able to see the footage. They're concerned about you knowing where the fire escapes are. I think it doesn't take a rocket scientist to walk around a building. Okay. I mean, these people seriously think you are so stupid and you're so childlike, you can't figure it out for yourself. The only difference between us and Germany is the fact that our guns won't be taken as easily. Yeah, well, you say that. You never know. You never know. We were a lot of, freedom-loving Republicans were pretty quick to lock down. I know it was only like a couple, not as long as expected, but a lot of people were like, okay, yeah, no, I don't need to go to church. I don't need to go to my job. So you never know. You hope that we don't become a place like Australia. They'll still be taken when the punch will be thrown first. Yeah, we'll see.
2 years, the Department of Justice has fought the release of this footage. But still, some of that footage has emerged. Take a look at this tape. It was obtained by BuzzFeed. It was released only after a federal judge rejected the DOJ's claim that this particular footage needed to stay secret on, quote, national security grounds. National security grounds. The footage covers a 15-minute period on January 6th from 2:25 p.m. to 2:40 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, that's right in the middle of the so-called insurrection. For context, 2:26 p.m.
Oh, our guns will be taken at Social Security. Yeah, it's only a matter of time. I mean, you see more and more bills of language of like assault or whatever, semi-automatic. I mean, these people that are writing these bills are doing it on purpose. It's ridiculous that people say otherwise. Look at all those people walking around waving flags. I'm so triggered. Dude, I'm triggered just like what? I'm triggered just having Tucker Carlson on my left shoulder.
Is around when Mike Pence, then the vice president, was evacuated from the Capitol. These are images from a surveillance camera at the Senate wing of the complex. And they show people calmly walking around taking pictures.
Oh, okay, yeah, calmly walking around. That person might be, speed walking. So let's get our facts straight. All I see here is Patriots. Thank you. Are you talking about me?
Much of a riot.
That's why we will stay at episode. We'll see.
Now, that's relevant because the DOJ is charging some of the people who entered the Capitol around this time, probably including some of the people in those frames, with endangering the
It's like all the people that didn't take the vaccine. Those people
safety
probably.
of Mike Pence. They're saying the Capitol itself was a restricted area because Mike Pence was present. But it does not appear from that footage that it's true. Where exactly was Mike Pence at the time? People are doing jail time as a result of assumptions about that question. But the rest of us can't verify it because the surveillance footage is still classified for national security reasons. We should see it. That footage might also show when exactly Capitol police officers began CPR on Roseanne Boylan, one Trump supporter who died that day. And that would be important to know as well for her family and for the rest of us. We might also learn about why one Capitol Hill police officer on January 6th, the man called Khalid Johnson, was wearing a MAGA hat as he seemed to coordinate with some of the protesters. That footage was shot by journalist Ford Fisher. You're seeing an image of it on your screen right now. And maybe we'll learn more about the Chewbacca guy, the guy in the Viking hat, his activities during January 6th. He's the man now serving almost 4 years behind bars for declining a police officer's half-hearted request that he...
Solitary jail time while waiting for trial for misdemeanors. That's like literally the most insane thing. You would think like some of these liberals who are all about prison reform would actually care about some of this stuff, but they don't because you are an enemy in their eyes and they see you in jail as a W and they don't care. So when they try to pretend like they are like humanitarians and they care about the humanness nature, and it's like these Republicans or people on the right that don't care about like human life, it's just so ironic. It's ridiculous. Or they don't care about prison reform. It's just prison reform for their voters. That's all they see it as. Hopefully we'll get more votes out of this. I just can't believe how many men lost their balls. Yeah, me too.
He take the party elsewhere.
Hey man, glad to see you guys. You guys are patriots. Look at this guy. He's got covered in blood. God bless you.
God, that clip still makes me laugh so hard. This guy's all covered in blood. God bless you, man. God, man, that's awesome. We lost. Fight back when we need to.
Yes. You good, sir? Do you need medical attention? I'm good, thank you. All right. I got shot in the face. Where are you? I got shot in the face with some kind of plastic bullet. Any chance I could get you guys to leave the Senate wing? We will. I've been making sure they ain't disrespecting the place. Okay, just want to let you guys know this is like the sacredest place.
More than half of all murders in the United States are not solved at this point because law enforcement, including federal law enforcement, can't get its act together sufficient to solve those murders. And that guy has had his life destroyed and is spending 41 months in prison. Why? Did he do something we're not aware of? The surveillance footage would show us and answer that question. But big picture, if you don't want another January 6th, if you want to avoid another riot like that, you'd want as much of the footage to come out as possible.
Buffalo Shaman got 4 years because he took a few minutes to oblige a police officer. Say, "Come on, man, can you just leave?" Dude, seriously, like that is like one of the biggest jokes of all time. You know what I mean? Just like, it's just so ridiculous. Like he didn't do anything. I mean, maybe 6 months. 3 months in jail. I don't know. But 4 years? 4 years for what? I want to promote your channel. Okay. It's just so silly.
Possible.
I mean, it's not silly because it's serious and it's ridiculous, but like, the fact that they try to make that guy to be some like kind of like evil villain that has like this secret plan that is actually a worse, mass murderer than any school shooter known to mankind. It's just if you're not laughing, you're crying. Like I don't know.
Instead, our government has been using the information blackout it claims is necessary for national security in order to do what they usually do under the cover of classification law, and that's lie to us. Joe Biden just claimed on camera that right-wing insurrectionists, racists, killed a Capitol police officer called William Evans. William
Dude,
Evans,
that was
of course,
nuts.
was murdered at a checkpoint
That was
by a
nuts.
supporter of the Nation of Islam.
3 months after January 6th, while they're still cordoning off the Capitol because threats by these sick insurrectionists continued to be profligated on the internet. Again, all America saw what happened. What Officer Evans was killed defending the checkpoint he'd had to go through to get up to the Capitol because of these god-awful sick threats.
Evil thrives in secrecy. That used to be obvious to all Americans. We have a right to know. And moreover, transparency is the
He looked like he just pooped himself. I know.
only solution. And it looks like we're going to get some. And that's thanks to the new Speaker, Kevin McCarthy, and to the small group of Republicans who pushed him in that direction. Matt Gaetz of Florida is one of them who joins us now. Congressman, thank you so much for coming on. How gratifying is it you didn't want Kevin McCarthy to be Speaker, you said it many times. He became Speaker, and now he's doing something that you've been calling for. How gratifying is this?
Bravo, Speaker McCarthy. This was not an agreement that we had at the beginning of last week, but as the week progressed, Speaker McCarthy, to his great credit, understood this was important to a great many of us. And when we get this 14,000 hours out, we're going to be able to see the extent to which the federal agents and assets that were present that day may or may not have increased the level of criminal acuity. We're going to be able to see their coordination with one another. And we're also going to be able
Hey, Maddie Poo Poo.
to see if there's exculpatory evidence that would show that people never intended to violate a law, even though they might have been technically out of compliance with whatever the standard was at that time based on the vice president's movements that they probably weren't aware of anyway. It is interesting, though, that at every time from the JFK files to 9/11 to now January 6th, it's our own government, it's our own Department of Justice that seems to stand in the way of transparency.
And why is that? Can't figure that one out.
The Speaker of the House is now fulfilling the commitment he made to us, and he deserves a great deal.
There was a BLM plant that was there filming himself telling people to burn it up. Yeah, that guy was insane. And then CNN put him on. I would love to have been rich from that too.
Give credit for it.
Amen. I feel the same way, and I had similar views about McCarthy to the ones you had, but I'm so thankful for this. Really quickly, we want to be fair. You serve in Congress. Can you think of any legitimate reason, real reason, tied to actual national security concerns to keep this footage secret?
No, I mean, we already know from whistleblowers.
Oh, we know the reasons why, because if they find out, this lady...
And if you think about it further, how many things can Matt Gaetz go out there and claim now that he requested from McCarthy? He might have a whole list in his back pocket that he never had a conversation about, but how's McCarthy going to come back and deny them at this point? Like this idea that there's a backroom list that no one's seen,
It's like, who do you trust, her or him? You know what I mean? I mean, this guy has slick back hair. And she looks like she has at least 3 or 4 litter boxes in her home. I mean, I don't know who to trust. MSNBC, Fox News, they're both... It's just a tough pick. Let's go back.
Lower interviews that there were federal agents and assets that were on the grounds that day. And I think what they really want to do is protect those people. They don't want the answers to the questions about coordination, exculpation, criminal acuity. And I think that is what they are trying to preserve.
Just no one to trust.
Usually when
exactly.
the Department of Justice is standing in the way of disclosure, it is because they are trying to protect against embarrassment, not protect our safety.
Imagine that.
It's self-protection.
Yes.
Of course it is.
The nation. Matt Gaetz, nicely put. Great to see you tonight. Thank you so much for this. Appreciate you coming on.
Remember when Matt Gaetz was under trial for allegedly trying to sleep with the underage girl? That whole thing just kind of went away. I don't really know what they even think about all that, but God, we live in crazy times, don't we?
So Joe Biden's staff discovered, and Joe Biden admitted, that he'd been storing classified documents in several occasions: his office, his garage near his Corvette, something called the Penn Biden Center. White House physician just announced that as a result of a routine colonoscopy, they found more documents. Just kidding. Possible, though. But you have to kind of wonder, and we're waiting, by the way, for classified documents to be found at the swimming pool made famous by Corn Pop. But it's just a matter of time before that happens. What's weird?
It was probably fabricated. They never had a real story. Are you talking about the classified, or are you talking about January 6th?
Weird is that the DOJ has not raided any of Joe Biden's properties, even though we've been told for many months now that these are very serious crimes. A civilian employee of the Department of Defense went to prison last year for taking a couple of classified documents to her hotel room. So you can see what happens to civilians or normal people when classified documents are, quote, mishandled.
Yeah, the garage was locked. Ergo, no crime was committed as far as you know. Exactly. Have you seen garages lately? They're impenetrable. There's no way you're getting into that thick of a door. It's like that thick.
Buck Sexton has spent a lot of time around classified documents. He once was a CIA officer. He's now the host, thank heaven, of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show. He joins us tonight. Buck, thanks a lot for coming on. So,
is that your real name, or you just use it because it's fun?
So, I mean, this was the world that you lived in. That you
Matt
worked
allegations.
In.
Yeah.
Assess
the
DOJ's response to.
Oh, okay. You're probably a fabricated story of Matt Gaetz. Yeah, I that was like, I just remember when it first came out, like he went on Tucker Carlson and started trying to explain himself, and it was like he was like hyped up and crazy, and even Tucker was like, I don't really know what's going on, if this is true or not.
What Biden did.
Well, if you were a normal person, which you were getting at before, who happened to work in the national security apparatus, you lived in constant fear of even the smallest infraction.
Did you see the padlock that Toothless Joe had on that garage door? You spent $30 at the master lock.
Classified protocols.
Exactly.
I saw adults break down in tears because
he had a combination lock. Okay, he's had it since middle school on that door. He's got the same combo. 69.
They thought they may have misplaced something even inside what was overall a classified facility. And certainly your career, and perhaps even your freedom, could be taken from you with even the most minute, I mean, even the smallest infraction. But as we know, a true tyranny isn't the strict enforcement of all laws. It is the disparate enforcement of laws. So that's been the case for the powerful.
Right. The next box will pop up in Hunter Biden's bathroom. Which one?
And the everyday folks in national security all along. But now you have to add to that the Democrat layer and what we see here with Joe Biden, which is obviously a sense. I mean, the fact that he
got it from Walmart,
that his Corvette was in the garage and it's locked. Tucker, if I had said that to security personnel at the CIA, don't worry about it, bro. I've got all the docs at home locked up in a safe or whatever in my own private residence.
Probably behind the drain cleaner that he hubs regularly next to the handguns.
They would have taken my badge, told me my clearances were revoked, and I would probably be awaiting federal charges. Joe Biden thinks like, no big deal, man. I got a lot of money from the Penn Biden Center. People think I'm important. That's the situation we're seeing unfold, and people recognize how outrageous it is.
Well, yeah, and the document sat there for 6 years. I mean, I think there's more to the story. Just my guess. But Buck Sexton, thanks for the perspective.
Well, the big part of it, Tucker, is, who found it? Because everyone seems to
That's
be
what
saying
I'm
that
saying.
they think this is an effort to push Biden aside. I want to know, look, it's not hard to get rid of a few documents here and there if they're classified. So the big question that we're still asking here is this just the meeting of tremendous Biden incompetence, which has been going on for 40 plus years, with opportunism from within the national security apparatus to push him? That's what we want to know.
That's a lie. Nobody thinks Joe Biden is important. Maybe, but not important.
I think this is make way for Michelle. Just my view. Not provable.
Of course. No, I totally agree with Tucker. I think this is pushing our way for Michelle Obama to finally, for Barack Obama to have his 10th term as president.
We'll see. Buck Sexton, great to see you tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Tucker.
So the Biden administration has been actively encouraging Americans,
it's a long intro,
people to smoke more weed and meth. They're sending crack pipes to crack addicts. But one Republican member of Congress wants to burn a cigar in his office, and liberals are hysterical. We'll speak to him. Striking a blow for freedom. Plus, it turns out arming Ukraine is not just a bad idea. It's actually an active threat to our own national security. The U.S.
Fourth term? Well, that's if you count, don't count, George Bush. Do not discredit George Bush's term, okay? He is a person too. All right, what representative should we call today? What representative is worth a call on the news? And what should we say? I want to tie it to where the news is, and I don't want to just... What representative who should we call? I feel like we were supposed to call somebody last night, but then I pulled back. I think we're supposed to make a phone call. Make a phone call, it's me. Maybe we call Barack Obama on his fourth call. Who do we... Oh, Willie? Yeah, but Willie's not... he hasn't been in the news. Senator Kennedy. That's right. But I just want to have something to say that has to do with what's going on today. That's where I find impotent. Biden just put out a tweet everyone should be excited about. Gas is down more than the $1.70 from its peak. That adds up to $180 a month for a typical family. That's money in your pocket, not spent at the pump. The pump to fill up your Corvette. You want me to call, Senator Kennedy and say your gumbo? I was told your gumbo was better than my gumbo, and I refuse to believe that your gumbo is better than my gumbo because my gumbo is better than my granny's gumbo. Wait. Chat GDP. Let's get Chat GDP to write us a script about a gumbo that I could say. That's what... All right. I like the idea. Where is it? Oh, where's ChatGPT at? Where... Sorry, that's all I could think of. I love it. I love that idea. I want ChatGPT to write the script for me. So it just sounds absolutely ridiculous and long-winded. Yeah, chat OpenAI. Okay. ChatGPT doing the things. Or Kentucky lobster. Okay, that's funny. Maybe I'll get ChatGPT to write me a story about a Kentucky lobster. And I'll talk like an old man. Yes. Yes. Hey, it's me, Senator Kennedy. It's time to say something. All right, here we go. Hey, chat. Wait. Hey, chat. Hey, chat. Write me a funny short story about Kentucky. Wait. Kentucky lobster in my gumbo? Hey, Kenny, you tell me, wait, once upon a time in the great state of Kentucky, there lived a group of lobsters. The lobsters were different from the ones you might find on the coast because they had been raised on a diet of bourbon and fried chicken. One day, a group of Cajun chefs came to... Okay, it's got to be Louisiana. Right? Wait. Right. Me a funny story about Louisiana. Wait. Louisiana lobster in my gumbo. Write me a really funny short story. All right. This is like borderline creepy, but amazing at the same time. It was a small fishing village specialized in capturing lobsters. The lobsters from the village were renowned for their delicious taste of succulent meat. One day, a group of chefs from New England came to the village in search for the perfect lobsters for their gumbo. Oh my God, this is incredible. Oh my God. Okay. Oh my, this is so long. Please stop. Please end. This is not a short story. Okay, I'm just going to read it. I'm not even going to... And keep in mind, I have reading dyslexia. So, Senator Kennedy, Louisiana, phone number. But we're going to call Senator Kennedy. You got to find this phone number. Okay. We got to call his Washington, D.C. office, clearly. All right, let's call this. Is that okay? Is that okay, Papa? Kennedy, can you tell my step-uncle that he puts too much salt in his gumbo? He won't listen to me. All right. All right, let's call. Calling Senator Kennedy. Hold on, let me change my attire. Because I need to have the look. I can't just look like a normal human being for this call. What if people see me as okay. Okay. All right, let's call Senator Kennedy. I'm excited about this story. Have you ever eaten a bag of saltines? It's just like that. All right, here we go.
Hello, and thank you for calling the office of Senator John Kennedy. Please leave your name, number, and a brief message after the tone. Thank you for calling the office, and have a great day.
Senator Kennedy, I wrote you a story, my friend. Once upon a time, in the great state of Louisiana, there was a small fishing village that specialized in catching lobsters. The lobsters from this village were renowned for their delicious taste and succulent meat. One day, a group of chefs from New England came from the village in search of the perfect lobsters for their gumbo. And I love some lobster. I hope you do too, my friend, as you are my representative. The villagers were more than happy to show off their prize lobsters, even offered to let the chefs try some. The chefs were amazed by the taste of the lobsters, but they couldn't help but notice that they were quite small compared to the lobsters that we're used to seeing in New England. Feeling a bit cheeky, some of the villagers suggested that adding some crawfish down by the crawfish to the gumbo to bulk it up a bit. The chefs were skeptical at first, but decided to give it a try. To their surprise, the combination of lobsters and crawfish was a hit. The gumbo was so delicious that it quickly became famous all over Louisiana. People came from far and wide to taste this unique dish. The villagers decided to hold a festival to celebrate the success of their gumbo. They even built a giant gumbo pot. They could hold hundreds of lobsters and crawfish at once. During the festival, the villagers crowned the first ever king crawfish and the queen lobster to the festival, and they paraded around the village, throwing gumbo and crawfish to the crowd, and thus the Louisiana lobster and crawfish gumbo was born, and it became a staple dish.
There's 10 seconds of recording time left.
Excuse me, I'm talking. Became a staple dish in the state. The villagers became known as the gumbo capital of the world. The end.
To send your message, press 1. To send your message as urgent, press thanks. Your message was sent.
That's so ridiculous. Wait, I should just do a crawfish joke. I want to call back with a crawfish joke. Where did ChatGPT go? Where did I put that? Okay. That wasn't funny. let's do. Hey, write me a funny gumbo joke. This better be a funny gumbo joke. Why did the gumbo refuse to leave the pot? Because it was too thick-skinned to crawl out. Let's get another one. That's pretty stupid. Why was gumbo feeling lonely? Because it had too much... Okay. I'm not going to say French words on my stream. That's offensive. To get rooks... Okay, I'm not going... Why did the gumbo refuse to leave the pot? Because it was having too much... Okay, why does it keep doing French? It's constant French. This is like pissing me off. Okay. Hey, write me a funny joke about dumb gumbo. Why is a gumbo dumb? Because it forgot to... Okay, why... What is the obsession with this word? How dare they? To get to the other pot? This is so dumb. I just want to punch myself in the face. Derek O'Shea, drag queen storytelling?
Willie in court super chatted $2. The Derek O'Shea Show drag queen storytelling.
Hey, that's offensive in so many languages. Willie, thank you so much for the super chat, my dude. Okay. All right, let's do another story. Let's call another senator. It's story time. Calling, or who should we call? We called Senator Kennedy. Thought that was good. Dude, Willie's the man. Who should we call? Somebody from Rumble can always get in the chat and let me know who to call. I do have Rumble chat linked up. You guys aren't alone. I see you in the chat. Or maybe we'll call his Baton Rouge office. Okay. Who should we call? Willie, since you sent in a super chat, tell me who to call. Once upon a time, there was a man named Jeff, and he had a problem. He owned too many airplanes. He tried to sell them, but everybody hated Jeff because they smelled terrible. Okay, wait. I like this idea. Why? Finish the short story for me. Okay, I just asked ChatGPT to finish the story. Despite his best efforts, Jeff could not seem to get rid of his excess airplanes. He even tried to giving them away, but no one wanted to be near them because they smelled terribly. Despite getting rid of the airplanes to improve the odor, Jeff sought out to help a renowned scientist. The scientist discovered Jeff that had been unknowingly standing too close to the gumbo factory for years, and the smell... Why is it still with that word? Jeff tried everything. Tulsi Gabbard? I don't think we could find her number because she's not a senator anymore. Let's see. Phone number. Let's see if I can find it. I don't think we could get her phone number. Well, she's got her contact information. It's email. Oh, voicemail. Fantastic. Okay. What should we say to Tulsi Gabbard? Do a Hawaii joke? Why did the Hawaii surfer refuse to catch the wave on a windy day? Because it was too bored for him? Okay. Until one day, a lovely lady with no sense of smell came to his doorstep waiting to borrow a cup of flour named Zelda. She hated Nintendo. What is going on? Papa, you're killing me in the chat. That's hilarious. All right. Let's call Tulsi Gabbard and then tell her this joke.
Aloha. You have reached the voicemail for TulsiGabbard.com. We appreciate your phone call. If this is a media or event request inquiry, please go to the website TulsiGabbard.com to submit the request under Contact in menu bar. If you would like to leave a message, please press 0. Thank you so much and have a
Thank you for calling. Please leave a message and your call will be returned as soon as possible.
Hey, Tulsi. Why did the Hawaii surfer refuse to catch a wave on a windy day? Because it was too bored for him. Freaking got you, dude. That's so stupid. God. Oh, dude. Tulsi Gabbard will never be the same after that. She'll never recover. She'll never, ever recover. She's going to be in therapy for the rest of her life. We totally pranked her. She doesn't even know, dude. Wait, Papa, you're writing an entire story in my chat? This is incredible. Once upon a time, there was a man named Jeff. Jeff had a problem. He owned too many airplanes. He tried to sell them, but everybody hated Jeff because he smelled terrible. Jeff tried everything. Soaps, detergents, even paid a shaman to cleanse his spirit of a stank, but nothing worked. Until one day, a lovely lady with no sense of smell came to his doorstep wanting to borrow a cup of flour named Zelda. She hated Nintendo. I can't believe you wrote all this in my chat. I love it. She hated Jeff too, not because he smelled bad, but because he was a racist. But because she had no other options and she wasn't getting younger, she agreed to marry Jeff, and the two live a life of mediocrity and minimal emotion. What? It's the biggest no story ever. I love it. Who do we want to call? Let's call another. Papa, tell me who to call. After that story, you get to tell me who I'm going to call next. And then we're going to do another state joke with them, and we'll totally pwn them. They won't even know what's happening, dude. They won't even know what's happening. Are we calling somebody from your state, from Michigan? It's a Michigan joke. Okay. Wait, Debbie's stopping now? I don't even know who that is. All right, awesome. Oh, I do know who that is. Hilarious. Okay. Okay, got it. Hey, Deborah. Did she go by Deborah? Oh, okay. Okay, I got it. Yep. Every time we call Democrats, I'm always worried they're going to be like, FBI. Okay, that was a stupid joke. Why did the Michigander cross the road to get to the Upper Peninsula? Come on, ChatGPT, you could do better. Why did the Michigan resident hate winter so much? Because it's always snow problem. What? Tell her to get a name that's easier to spell. First of all, your name is hard as crap to smell. Why did the Michigan resident put his money in the freezer? Because he heard the economy was on ice. No. Why did Michigander cross the road? To get upside? God, these jokes are so dumb. Why did the Michigan resident refuse to go outside in the winter? Because it was too bitter for him? No. Why did Michigan refuse to go out on a cold winter day? Because it was too chilly for him? I don't like that either. These are dumb jokes. No. Debbie, I'm currently in a scuffle with my housemate. He's convinced that because he pays rent, he's allowed to use half of my freezer. Okay, I like that. Just call me back at that phone number. I think I got her. Did I put her number in there? Okay, I did. All right. We're going to call Debbie Stabenow, Democrat, Michigander.
You've reached the office of Senator Debbie Stabenow. Our office hours are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. If you've reached this recording during these times, our lines are busy. If you would like to share your views with the Senator, you can do so at any time through her website at stabenow.senate.gov. If you would like a return call, please leave your name, including the spelling, your area code and phone number, and a brief message. Thank you for calling.
Hello, Deborah. It's me, Frat Walsh, and I'm currently in a scuffle with my housemate. We're in a little bit of a pickle, and if you could call me back, because I really want to hear your thoughts as a fellow voter. I did vote for you, no doubt about that. Cross my heart, hope to die, stick a needle in my eye, you know what I mean? But, okay, he's convinced just because he pays the rent that he's allowed to use half of my freezer. Half! What an insane inquiry. And I work all day at the salt factory, of course, because just like all your constituents do. But he has no business using my freezer. Let me know your thoughts on that, because I'm genuinely curious. Also, why did the Michigan native put sugar on their automobiles? Because they heard it helps with the rust problem. Bye. Stupid. God. Oh my gosh, I hate myself and love myself at the same time. This has been a fantastic show. Not just any show, but a fantastic show. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Make sure to drop a like on the video if you're watching live. Love, laugh, live. Thank you for dying. Make sure to smash that like button. You guys are the best people on earth. I will be going live again on Sunday, so come out, hang out with us. The show will be jam-packed fun. I will be drinking tequila, so you know we will be up to mischief. We will be calling our politicians because, dear God, they need to be called. This is how we hold these people accountable, okay? We have to put ourselves out there and let them know how we feel, whether it's through a joke or through a stupid story written by freaking ChatGDP. What? I mean, and we'll never know about the Cajun chefs and the Kentucky lobsters. I'm really disappointed in the fact that I never put it out there, but we will finally get to know what that's all about. Thank you for your time. Hey, thank you, Joshua. I appreciate that, man. You guys are the best people on earth. Willie, thank you so much for the super chat tonight. Thank you guys for the super chats last night. You guys are amazing people on earth. I love every single one of you. Thank you for taking time out of your Friday night to come hang out with me. I know I don't take that for granted. It really means a lot to me. Share this with all social media platforms. Tell your friends and family about this show, please. The best way to grow is through you guys. Obviously, the algorithm doesn't give a crap about me. So if you find this show interesting or fun or silly or worth your time, and as always, if you're new here, those of you watching new, I try to make this show as silly and fun as possible. It's not just like another serious news podcast. They're all the same. They're all the same. They're all telling you the world's going to end. So I hope to make you laugh, and that's what matters more to me. Just getting through these difficult times together. Have a wonderful day. I love you. I'm talking to you. Look, you think you're like, is he talking to me? Yeah, he is. I'm talking to you. Find a way to enjoy your time. Find a way to make a difference in someone's life tomorrow and tonight. Look, okay. I will just say this is my last thought. I work with a lot of people that are going through some really hard shit right now. And a lot of death and grieving right now with a lot of people I'm working with. You never know when someone's going to go. You never know when someone's going to die. So it's better to, every time you're with somebody, just say to yourself, this could be the last time I'm with these people. And it's just a good reminder that death is always on our doorstep. And so to embrace and enjoy the time you have today and the people you surround yourself with today, even if they're not as close as you think you are or as you feel that you could be, make a difference in their life. Enjoy the time together. Talk a little bit. Don't just stare at your phones. That's my encouragement to you. He's talking on his camera again. I am. And I just want to say that, okay? All right, I work with too many people that need help, and I hope that helped you. Because it helps me every day, thinking about how I can, every moment I'm with somebody, feel like I'm making a difference in their life and making their day a little bit brighter. Have a great day. Love every single one of you guys. Let me end this stream with some kind of fresh beats. Fresh. Stay fresh, my friends. You were on the phone? What did I say? You're going to have to rewind it. Ooh, I like that. That's fresh. All right. Love every single one of you guys. Enjoy your Friday night. Spend it with somebody you love. And put your phone down a little bit. Make a joke. Go to ChatGPT and make the ChatGPT make some stupid joke for you. Something funky, but not too funky. Stay fresh, my friends. Hey, love, laugh, live. No, you're the best. Love you. Have a great night. See you on Sunday, people. All right. Let's go. All right. Look. It's Friday night, and bye.
Thank you.